This broadcast of Pennsylvania Newsmakers is presented by the Pennsylvania Builders Association, building today for a better tomorrow, and by the Pennsylvania Cyber Charter School, bringing educational innovation and freedom to the children of Pennsylvania.
All right, welcome back to the program with Steve Stetler from the Pennsylvania Economy League. All right, Steve, one of the things I think the PA Economy League has been known for over the years sort of is its studies of local government. You have a lot of folks who pay attention. A couple of entities and universities, for example, look and study local government, and I've often thought it was sort of one of the neglected areas. You know, a lot of, maybe you would agree or not agree with that.
Well,
as a
I mean,
whole?
PEL has been involved with local government.
I understand, but as a whole.
But as a whole.
Yeah.
Something that the governor's going to, hopefully will focus on this next 4 years.
It seems to me that I want to talk about two specific areas. I know you've done a lot of research and you're very knowledgeable about this. One has to do with modernization, at least in the sense that we used to talk about consolidating, getting one municipality to join with another, get rid of some of these inefficiencies. But as you know, politically, that's not happening. But there is another way in which you can achieve some economies in government services, and that's by what I think is called functional consolidation. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, we have studied, I mean, PEL's been around for 70 years, and we have been involved with a lot of discussions on school mergers and municipal mergers, and we've just found that the politics of it at times is just almost impossible.
Yeah.
But that when you go in and do the studies, you can show to supervisors and superintendents where functions can be shared. You know, there are, you know, whether it's police, whether it's fire, whether it's snow emergencies.
How about health care, something we just talked
Absolutely.
about? Why do
pensions,
we have to have...
Pensions is another area that we need. Some of those will require state legislation to deal with, especially with pensions. But they are some excellent opportunities for local municipalities and school districts to look at shared functions, shared responsibilities that could result in substantial savings of tax dollars.
I agree. I mean, as you know, I think under Pennsylvania law, maybe it's the Constitution, I guess it is, each municipality, let's say you have two municipalities, they sit next to each other, each has to agree to a merger. And usually one will be opposed to it because it won't see any advantage in it. And that's very difficult to accomplish. But your argument is that you could take 30 or 40 municipalities, hypothetically, in a region, and they might share police, and they might, and get some economy of scale as whether get the service. I mean, you might actually be able to increase the quality of the service.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, it's interesting when you look at the way the demographics of Pennsylvania is kind of shifting, and you look at where some municipalities are not as wealthy as they were 35 years ago.
Population loss, businesses leaving, go ahead.
Well, but also an increased demand for services. So that, you know, in municipalities in 1970 had no paid police, had no paid fire. In 2005, 2006, you're looking at paid police, paid fire, and, you know, the cost to the taxpayer is increasing. I mean, it's a service everybody wants. But it might not be being delivered at the most economical fashion.
All right, let's turn to one other topic, and that is, you know, it's almost not daily, but certainly weekly. You pick up a newspaper and you read where some municipality has some fiscal problems, where they've got debt. Maybe the debt's caused, you know, it's what we call structural debt. You know, it could be as a result, you know, they can't pay their bills because they've got too much a debt out there, services they have to provide. Sometimes it's long-term debt because of pensions and other maybe bonds that they circulated, you know, as they have to pay off for building things, you know, whether it's something, you know, a new edifice, new structure. But the point is that fiscal distress for municipalities is a huge issue and a growing problem. Yes or no?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we need to look short-term, long-term at how we're going to restructure local municipality and that form of governance so that there is not the fiscal distress. I mean, if you know, we're going to release a study, hopefully before the end of January, that will track Pennsylvania's local communities, every one of them, from 1970 to 2003. And what you're going to see is there is fiscal distress is not just a third-class urban issue. It's not just a city problem. You're going to see a lot of boroughs across Pennsylvania that are experiencing the same thing as second-class townships. I mean, is it a huge problem in first-class townships? No. But there are some townships that were extremely wealthy in 1970 that are still moderately wealthy today. But the trend is not going in the right direction for them we need to address those issues.
And
Tax sharing,
yeah, keep going.
things, you know, tax sharing, you know, pension reforms of some sort, you know, health care, like you said earlier.
Yep.
I mean, those are issues that I think can help make local municipalities much more fiscally secure.
Steve Stetler, my special guest, thanks for the update. When you do your study, come back and talk with us about it. All right, we'll see you.